Welcome. Glad to have you here. As David pointed out, summer is coming, and as Susan pointed out, this is not a red shirt. And Bob pointed out that I'm broadcasting from an undisclosed location. So on that note, if my face starts to look funny, don't adjust your set. My bandwidth here at this undisclosed location is about 1.6 megabits per second upload, and we like to have a minimum of 5 megabits per second. So if the picture starts to look funny, then that's the reason why. So let's get started, shall we? Today we're talking about markup. And markup is something that allows you to draw on, rotate, sign, crop, do all sorts of stuff. So this is Go for Lunch number 108. I'm Roger Harmon, your host, brought to you by GoFor Technology, where we make your technology work for you. This is the Memorial Day edition of Go for Lunch, so we were able to remember and honor those people that sacrificed by serving our country, and some who made the ultimate sacrifice. So again, the markup is how you can annotate your documents. So I want to mention that if you have an iPhone or iPad, there is something called continuity markup, and you can even use an Apple Pencil if you have an iPad. Unfortunately, that requires not only that you have your Wi-Fi and Bluetooth turned on, but it requires Monterey, which is Mac OS 12, and this computer doesn't have Monterey. So we will be demonstrating that at a future date, and it also requires iOS 14 on an iPhone 7 or later. So stay tuned for that program. So you can use markup in several different ways. You can use it using the Quick Look feature that's built into your Finder. And as a refresher, the way Quick Look works is you simply tap on a file to highlight it, and then you hit the space bar to get the quick look or the preview. Then you can also hit the space bar again to get out of quick look, or if you have a list of files that you want to take a quick look at, you can use the up and down arrow keys to navigate through there, and that's the way quick look works. And the icon to look for in Quick Look or in Preview is this circle with a pen pointing up. So there's various apps where you can use markup, and that includes Mail, Notes, Text Edit, and Photos. And also markup does work on the iPad and the iPhone, but not in the same exact way. So you're going to see different icons in different versions of the operating system. So this is the two possibilities for Sketch. One is just a squiggly line, the other one is a pen with a squiggly line. So to use Sketch, what you do is you draw a shape using a single stroke, meaning that you don't stop, you just continue till you join the to the start point, join the end point to the start point to create the shape. And then what the artificial intelligence built into your Mac operating system will do is guess what shape that is, and it'll complete it for you. Same thing with the draw tool. You have several different icons, and you can see on the one here in blue that it shows a thickness. So you can change the thickness on that. So again, you would draw the shape using a single stroke and connect the the beginning with the end to complete the shape. And you can press your finger more firmly to draw a heavier, darker line. That is if you have a Force Touch trackpad, which comes on most late model MacBooks, or you can also have an external trackpad, of course. So let's look at those two features. So we go to our desktop and go to our Finder. And let's see here. There we go. So you can see here I have this document called Energy Star. And it says copy here because the original was created by Apple. So I couldn't edit the original, but it gives you the option of creating a copy so you can edit it. So down here in the lower right hand corner, you'll notice there's the little markup icon. And when you mouse over it, it tells you it's the markup icon. So now what we're going to do is we're going to click on that. And there's our document with our markup tools at the top. So let's look at the sketch tool. So now when it's turned on, you see a pen, a little pen nub, I think they call those. So if we go down here and we start a shape, and the system figured out we were drawing a triangle. So it completed it for us, making it a nice looking triangle. So these are called handles, these blue dots on each corner. And you'll notice that when we get right over the blue dot, the cursor turns into a double arrow, and then we can adjust the shape in that manner. And if we put the cursor in the center of the object, then we can move it anywhere we want on the document. So that is sketch. Now the next one over here is draw. So now we're going to draw. We're going to try to draw. Come on. There we go. So now I'm going to be pressing on the trackpad, heavy and then light. Here we go. And heavy. So you can see how that works. So the Force Touch. So if we click out of that, we get a little dot. So to get out of that, you select on another tool here, and we're not getting rid of it. So I had this problem before, and it doesn't want to go away. So let's click over here. It still wants to do a draw. Okay, so anyway, the same, what I was trying to illustrate here is that you can move it around and you can make it bigger or smaller using the blue dots, which are the handles. Okay, so let's go back and look at some other options. Okay. So shapes are fun. We've done a little bit of shapes already. So the shapes icon is a circle with a square in front of it. And you click on a shape and you get a drop down on this, and you get the drop down menu, and you can choose different shapes. Again, you can reposition it by dragging it. You can resize it with the blue handles. And if the shape has green handles, you can alter the shape. So let's look at that. So here's our document, and we're going to go up here to the shapes, and you see the little arrow indicates it's a drop down, and we're going to choose the speech bubble. So the shapes are a rectangle with rounded corners, a circle, speech bubble, a hexagon, a star, and we'll talk about this one down here in a minute. So we're going to do the speech bubble. So there it is. So we can move it by putting our cursor in the center. We can change the shape by using one of the blue handles here. You can see the cursor changes to an up and down arrow with a horizontal line. And then it might be hard to see, but right here is a green handle, and there's another green handle right here at the tip. So when you go over the green handle, you get a cross arrow, and now I can change this to a different shape, and if I grab this green handle here, then I can, oops, there we go, change it that way. So it gives you lots of flexibility. So let's go back here. And let's look at zooming in. So there's a loop tool, which is cleverly hidden in the shapes drop down. And with that, you can drag the loop over the area that you want to magnify, just like you would a regular loop. And then you can increase or decrease the magnification with the green handle. And then with the blue handle, you can change the area of that the loop is looking at. So let's look at that. So here's our document. We go to the shapes drop down, and here's the loop in the lower right hand corner. We click on that. There it is. So we can drag it around. So we're going to go up here and look at the Energy Star logo. And up here is a green handle. So now when we get our cursor on top of that, we get a double arrow. And now we can zoom in more or less. And if we want to see more area, we grab the blue handle right here, and you can see that we're looking at more area. And again, we can increase the magnification like that. So that's a pretty interesting tool, I think. Okay. So text. Of course, many times you want to annotate a document with additional text, and the icon is going to look similar to this. So you just type your text in, it's going to come up with a word text, and you just double click on that and start typing to put in your text, and then you can drag the box wherever you want. So let's check that out. So here's our document, and we're going to click on the text tool right here, so you can see the little T in the box. There's our text. So we double click on that, and I think it's down here actually. So there's some little buggy problems here I've noticed as I was preparing this presentation, and there was one of them. So we double click to select it, then we can customize our text, and then once we click out, we can grab it with the hand and put it anywhere we want. So that is text. Now the highlight, when I first started preparing this, it was working, and now it's not. I've quit the program, I've quit the computer, power cycled the computer, and it did not work. So it might work in preview, but in quick look on Catalina, it was not working. Another neat feature of Markup is that you can sign your documents. Now this is a multi-step process to set this up, so we're going to talk about that next week. So something to look forward to. Something that will save you a lot of time once you get it set up, if you deal in signing PDFs like for doctor's offices and stuff. So the shape and style tool looks pretty self-explanatory, just has different shapes or different thicknesses of lines. So let's show you how that works. So here we're back. So here's our shape tool, and again the down arrow indicating there's a drop down. So we can get different lines here. So I'm going to select this tool here, which wants to jump out of the way, and I'm going to put it in the magnifier, in the loop, and I'm going to try to find, there it is. So I'm going to adjust the loop size here so you can see better the changes. There we go. So you got a close-up of the corner of the loop. So now if we go up here and we select that triangle, go up to the lines, and if we click here, you see that the thickness of the line changed. Now you can see you have the different thicknesses here. This is dashed. This is a jagged border. So you can see that. If we will zoom in on that here, let's see if we can get this to, for some reason that pen nub just wants to keep coming back. So there we go, there's our, okay. So you can see that jagged line there. So that's how the line thickness works, and then if you want a shadow, it's pretty subtle, but that's this selection here. Now the arrows are a little tricky. You have to select an arrow in the shapes over here. So I'm going to select this arrow with a arrowhead on it. So there it is. You can hardly see it. So now we can go up here and you can see that the choices are not in gray anymore. So now I made that arrow thicker, and I'm trying to get over here and move this arrow so you can see it better. So it's got the jagged line, so we're going to turn that off. So there's that. So now we can rotate the arrow by grabbing it at the left end here, and let's see if we can get that to work. So this is Murphy's Law of Demonstrations. There we go. So we can rotate the arrow from either end, and then there's a green dot here or handle in the middle, and we can change the shape of the arrow that way. So gives you lots of flexibility. Okay, so again, you can change the thickness and the type, and you can add a shadow. So border color. So there's two parts to this. There's the border color, which is obviously the border, the outside of the shape. You can change the color of the lines, and then there's the fill color, which allows you to change the color used inside the shape. So now we will go back to the desktop. And so we have, we'll select our speech bubble here, and we'll click on the border tool. You can see, I don't know if you can tell, but it actually is yellow up here. So we'll change that to blue. There you have it. And then we'll go over here to the fill, and we'll change that to reddish, like that. So, and again, we could put, the speech inside here, the text inside the speech bubble. So that gives you some more options. So let's look at the text style. So that allows you to change the font style. So let's see how that works. So here we have some text right here. And we go up to the A, and we can change the font. It's in Futura right now. Let's make it Helvetica. So there's Helvetica. We have italics turned on, so we can turn that off. Underline, turn that off. We can right justify it, center justify it, right or left justify, center and right, and then we can fully justify it. So that's how that works. And then we can change the size either using the little arrows here, making it smaller, or we can simply double click to select the font size and type in a new one and hit tab, and then that gets bigger. So that's how that works. Now you can rotate is supposedly lets you rotate an item. However, I did not get that to work. It only rotates the whole document. So if you want to rotate left, you just click on the icon. If you want to rotate right, you hold down the Option key while you click on the icon. And then just keep clicking until you get it rotated into the right position. So I'm not going to demonstrate that because it really doesn't work the way you think it should. Crop, very useful tool. So the crop tool lets you hide part of the item. When you invoke crop, you get corner handles, and you can also adjust the frame to reposition the cropped area. So, and then when you're done with all your cropping, you click crop in the upper right, and it will save all those edits. So let's look at that. So here's the crop tool right here. So you can see crop just appeared up here. That's what you would do at the end. So let's move things around here. Let's move this triangle out of here. Come on, little triangle. I guess we don't want to be in the crop tool while we do that. Let's try this. So there's the rotate tool. Just rotates the whole page even though we had something selected. Okay, so we have to get out of crop here. Let's try this. There we go. So I just want to get these things out of here and show you crop. So now I'm going to click on crop again. And crop is not working. So there's two different arrows you get to crop the whole frame. So this up and down arrow sizes the window. That's not the one you want. You want the one with the up and down arrow and the horizontal line. And now we can eliminate the French part here and only have the English part. So that's how crop works. Now there should be handles here, and for some reason they're not showing up, but they're there because I'm able to crop with the handles. Showed up in rehearsal, and then you would click on crop up here to save your changes. Now I'm going to click on revert to undo all my changes. So now we have a clean document. So when you're finished doing all these different edits to your document, you click done in the upper right hand corner, and all your edits will be saved. So I think we already have some questions. If you have some more questions or comments, please add them. And remember to please share the GoFor Gazette by forwarding that email that comes to you every Monday morning at 7 o'clock to people that use Apple devices so we can help them as well. Subscribing helps us with YouTube, helps us get the videos out to more people. We've got 91 subscribers, so thank you for those that have subscribed. We just need 9 more to get to the first goal of 100. So feel free to subscribe, and let's look at our comments here. So Susan says, okay, so let's just make a couple of adjustments here. And there we go. Okay. So Susan says that you don't see markup. So it's not in the Finder. You have to open a document to do that first. So yeah, you couldn't use your trackpad, but you can use a mouse. You just wouldn't get that line width capability. It was the only thing you're missing without a trackpad. And welcome, Mary. So it is not in Pages. It is in Text Edit, and it is in Mail, and it is not in Pages. So it works with PDFs and images, pictures, Susan. Okay, so yeah, so you can use it. Yeah, you don't need your trackpad. And thank you, David. Appreciate the compliment there. So any other questions? If you have them, type them right away. There's a little delay between the time that you type it and I see it. So could somebody tell me what the quality was? Did you have any quality issues? I'm just curious, because our bandwidth, as I mentioned, is not up to what I would like to be the minimum. So if you have any questions or comments after we end, you can reach me either by email or by telephone. So thanks all for joining. We'll see you next week, high noon on Tuesday for Go for Lunch. Have a good rest of your week.